In this video, I want to talk about the differences between a custom 1911 and what's called as production 1911s. Is a custom 1911 really worth the money? We know the major names. Wilson Combat, Nighthawk, my good friend Les Bear, and of course Ed Brown makes some custom 1911s. I'm going to show you a couple of 1911s here that cost about $3,000. Are they worth the money? Or would you rather have multiple 1911s and get some of the really nice ones I'm about to show you? You know, like a SIG, Colt, Smith & Wesson E-Class, got some Kimbers. Gosh, gorgeous 1911s. One of the things that irks me about some of the custom 1911 gunsmiths, like an Ed Brown, who he's not really the nicest guy around, but that's neither here nor there. But he actually, what do they think? They invented the 1911? We know John Moses Browning invented the 1911 in the early 1900s, and in the year 1911, it went into production. So custom 1911s are guns that were designed by one man, John Browning, and a lot of people try to make them like perfect. Let's talk about it. Throw in your opinions on this one. I know there's going to be a lot of controversy, but I actually think that most of you, I'm guessing, 95% of you are going to say, I'll take a couple of good SIGs, 3 good SIGs over 1 Ed Brown, and I'll take 4 or 5 Rock Island Armories, Springfields, Rugers, things like that, over a $3,000 Ed Brown. And I'm going to tell you why in this video. So please throw in your comments. And also weaponseducation.net is the gun forum. You can battle it out in the gun forum also. So welcome to weaponseducation.com. All right, let's start out the video with looking at an Ed Brown Cobra Carry. This gun is expensive. I'm going to round off the dollars. With tax, it's a $3,000 gun. And what Ed Brown claims is that it's got like really tight tolerances, which I agree, and it's got a really nice finish, which I agree. It's got a match grade trigger, I agree. Match grade barrel, I agree. And it's got a lot of ham work done to it. Okay? These are all safety check guns. Tammy, you can see that real close there? Okay. But it's $3,000, and Ed himself is not the nicest guy in the world, but whatever. Here's another Ed Brown 1911. You know, they're known for, the custom 1911s are known for being made by hand and all the time it takes to make these guns. So you're paying a premium because a human being took each individual part and had to shave it all down and make it really nice and perfect and tight. By the way, how tight should a 1911 be? Sometimes they're too tight. It took me 300-400 rounds to even be comfortable with this gun. Unlike when I grab a SIG right out of the box, bang, I shoot it better than this Ed Brown. Here's an Ed Brown Special Forces. Okay? Very expensive gun, somewhere around $2,500, $2,800 in that range. Very expensive. You add tax, you're looking at $3,000 guns. Same thing I said about the Cobra Carry. It's got nice characteristics to it. But it's so expensive, and I just don't, I don't get it. I mean, I don't get the hoopla. At one point, obviously, I did because I bought them and I spent the money for them. Don't be like me and get caught up in the hoopla and spend more money than you have to. Unless maybe you're a competition shooter and you need to have that one little millimeter closer towards that red dot than maybe what a Smith & Wesson can do, which I think of all the guns I'm going to show you on the table here, they're all more accurate than all of us. Modern day guns are more accurate than us. The Rock Island Armories, the Rugers, the Springfields, the Colts, the Smith & Wessons, the SIGs, the Kimbers, all of them are more accurate than us, in my opinion. So, you know, unless you need a go-to-war gun, which, I tell you what, the United States Marines uses the Colt railgun we're going to look at here in a moment. They just signed a $22 million contract. It's good enough for them. It's good enough for me. LAPD uses Kimber. They're special forces. So, you know, Ed Brown, I've never sold a gun in my life, so I'm not about to start now, but I do feel like I spent way too much money on those Ed Browns. This is another one from my buddy Bernie at CSC Arms, and it's a nice gun. It's a $2,500 gun. And okay, look at the barrel. It's got a nice chrome barrel. You see that, Tammy? I want to move quick because we're looking at a lot of guns. They all have nice night sights. Some of them are ambi, some of them are not. This one is not ambi. And by the way, 10% of the world, statistically, are lefties. You know, let's go back to the special forces. It's not even ambi for the kind of money that you pay, as far as the mag release and things like that. It should be. It should be, the safety. Now, let me show you what I think is really some good bangs for the buck. I shoot this SIG, and of course the best 1911 for you is the gun that you shoot the best. If you got a friend that owns a 1911, maybe a SIG or a Kimber or a Smith that we're about to look at, ask them if you can shoot it, you know, 20, 30 rounds and see how you do with it, how it feels in your hand. This SIG carry, stainless carry, is, I think, of all the guns, of all the 1911s that I own, I think I shoot this the best and I feel the most comfortable with. Let me tell you about this SIG right here. It's 35 ounces. And it's all steel. It's the carry version. It's $1,142. It is not $3,000. Now, if we're going to talk about a really good custom 1911, Les Baer comes in there to me as the premier custom 1911 manufacturer because Les is a good guy. He did an interview with me in person. You've seen it on my videos in the past. You can Google it. And he also did a lengthy interview with me at my office over the phone, on the speakerphone. And he admitted that for the money, his guns are the best 1911s customs for the money because you can get one for like $1,700 a Les Baer. This SIG at $1,142, I think, is one of the greatest buys in the world right now, and it's got everything you want. It's got the night sights. It's got the really nice serrations. It's got gorgeous grips. It's got a beautiful mainspring housing. This one is not ambi, but look at the wood grips. I'm telling you, you will be happy with this at around $1,140. That's a great option. So the question's I'm gonna keep bringing it up. Would you rather have 3 of these or 1 of these? 1 Ed Brown. I'll take my SIGs all day long. Here's another one here. Tammy, please zoom in at this. And every time I show this, everyone says this has to be one of the sexiest 1911s on the planet. This Smith & Wesson E-Class series is so gorgeous and is so comfortable. It's got the rounded butt here. You see that? Okay. Ed Brown has it also. Well, you can get it with a Smith. You can get it with a Smith. And this has a scandium frame, which means that it is very lightweight aluminum, as strong as steel. This gun only weighs right at 30 ounces. I mean, less than 2 pounds. 4¼ inch barrel, $1,369. Let's call it $1,400 bucks. This Smith is gorgeous. It's lightweight. It's perfect for carry. It's only 4¼ inches. And like I said, it's right at $1,400. They just reintroduced a new one. You have to go to their website. That's even even nicer than this one. I'm sorry, I forget the model. So go to Smith's website. One of you will throw the name of that in here. It just came out a few months prior to me making this video. But look at the grips on it. Yeah, this one is ambi, both sides. And it's got the night sights. It's got everything you want. Look at see now, things like this, I don't like to call this a production gun. You see the scalloping on the slide? I tell you, this is custom to me. This is custom. Look at that. Some people say this looks like a fish and it can swim away. So I really think there's a lot of, quote unquote production 1911s that are even better than custom 1911s. Not to name names. Because if you Google custom 1911s, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gunsmiths reproducing John Moses Browning's 1911, and they put their name on it and say, well, mine's better than the other. But they're all 1911s. On the back of this Smith, you got serrations here, you get the hammer serrated, you've got everything you want. Let's look at another one here. Let's take a look at a Kimber. Now, come on. Now, this Kimber claims to be the best production 1911 on Earth. They claim that. They have the tightest tolerances. And when we talk about tolerances, please zoom in there, and you can see what I'm talking about. It's very tight fit. So you want to shoot these 200, 300, 400 rounds to break them in. And 1911s don't necessarily have to have that tight of a fit, but it's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to hear about the plastic mainspring housings on Kimber. You guys can blabber about it. I've never heard of one breaking, by the way. Look at the grips on that. Those Raptor grips. Look at the scalloping on the inside here of the grip. Look at the craftsmanship. To me, this is custom. This comes out of their custom shop. It says right on it, custom shop. You zoom in on that barrel there, on that slide, I'm sorry, and just look how gorgeous it is. It's just gorgeous. Look at the top, the scalloping. That's custom. The stainless Ultra Raptor 2 3-inch package. What does this one cost? And it is ambi all around. This one costs $1,400. So would you rather have 2 of these or 1 Ed Brown? I'll take the 2 Kimbers. Sorry, I'll take the 2 Kimbers. And I'm not slamming custom 1911s because they have their purpose. If you can afford it, great. It's not going to be like you're going to make a lot of money if you buy an Ed Brown Cobra Carry and 20 years later you think it's going to be worth a lot of money. The 1911 design has been around for so long, everyone's going to keep making 1911 designs, which is what we want. Not like a Colt Python, which was a unique revolver design by Colt, where they made from 1955 to 1999 and then stopped, and then that's a collectible. Maybe you want a 1911 as a collectible, so you want to spend the $3,000 for a custom 1911. That's up to you. That's up to you. How about this? You want a rail? Any of the major manufacturers. Ruger, Rock Island Armory, Springfield. You get Springfields for $700. Rock Island Armories for $500. Ruger's for $829. This Colt, I think it cost about $1,200. You can get them with a rail. You can have really excellent 1911s without getting caught up in the hoopla of custom. Customs have their purpose for people who just have to have that. They want it, and they have all that kind of cash they could spend. I wouldn't make the mistake I made and buy an Ed Brown for $3,000. I'm gonna get a Les Bear when I fly to his shop, because Les is such a nice human being, and he deserves a lot of business from us. He supports the NRA. He supports... So there's other aspects you have to look at when you're looking at custom gun manufacturers. You know, do they support the NRA? Les said it right in the video when I interviewed him in person. Yes, I'm a huge supporter of the NRA. Les told me in the interview when I was at my office that he admits that his guns, for the money, that he thinks they're right there, and his name is on them, and he's going to make them as good as possible. And you can go to his website. You're looking at $1,700, $1,800, $1,900, up to, of course, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. But you can get a good Les Bear for $1,800, $1,900. And I'm just trying to show you some options. Please take a look up. We love looking at beautiful guns. I like all 1911s. I just took out a couple from the collection to show you, and I want your input. Is it worth the money to spend $3,000 approximately and up on a custom 1911 if you can afford it? Or would you rather have 3 or 4 or sometimes 5 production 1911s, which I think shoot better than us anyway, and they're very reliable and they're excellent products? What do you think? Thank you for your support. Please tell a friend, please subscribe, and I really care about everybody. Tom checking out. Bye-bye.